Hello, how's it going? If you enjoy documentary style editing, this animation is a must-have for any of your videos. I saw this effect in a tutorial by Fran Rodrigo. The guy's a genius. He edits for big YouTubers like Auronplay and Nilo Jeda, among others, so he definitely knows what he's doing. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description in case you want to check it out and learn more about editing. He created this effect in Adobe Premiere, and I'm going to show you how to recreate it step by step in After Effects. By the way, we've just hit over 10,000 subscribers on the channel, and to celebrate, I'm going to give away the editing course to one lucky person. To participate in the giveaway, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment. I'll explain more in the pinned comment. To create this effect, let's head over to Google. Here, we're going to type a name or a word related to the edit we want to create. Since a few days ago, Rafa Nadal announced his retirement from tennis, I'll be using his name for this. I hit enter, and instead of looking under all, we'll head over to the news section. Now we'll right click on these links and open them in a new tab. Right click, open in a new tab. And they'll open up there. We'll do this with all of them. Afterwards, we'll check which ones we can use and which ones we can't. If we want, we can also switch to the next page and keep going. I already have this link from Marca open, so I'll move on to the next one. I think this will be enough. In the animation, 8 or 9 screenshots will be sufficient. Let's go to the first page. And here we can clearly see Rafa's name, even though we're going to make the composition 1920 by 1080. It's ideal to take the screenshots in 4K, so we won't need to scale up much later in After Effects, and we won't lose the image quality. To take a screenshot, press the Windows key and print screen. It will automatically be saved in a folder called Screenshots. There it is, let's keep going. We can close this one now and move on to the next one. Here, we can also see the name clearly, so Screenshot, close. I like this one too, Windows key plus print screen and save it. I like this typography here as well, but I don't know how to remove this. So I'll close this page. This one's no good because it only shows the last name, so let's close it. This one's good, Screenshot. I also like this one. It's a different font, and this contrast between fonts will give the animation a nice touch. So let's save this one too. This one is also fine. Because it only shows the first name, so I'll close it. This one is good, a screenshot. This one doesn't work because it is in separate lines. This one's perfect, Screenshot. I like this one too, Windows key and print the screen, save it. Here, it's only the last name, so this one won't do. Look, this one has a different font too. And like I said before, this contrast will give the animation a cool look, so I'll save this one as well. I like this one too, if any of these links have the name showing up too small, so we don't have to scale too much later in After Effects. We can zoom in directly here, without losing quality, using Ctrl and the plus sign. Now it's bigger, and we haven't lost any quality. Later, we won't have to scale in After Effects. I'll save this one too. This one's no good. And this last one's good as well. So Windows key and print screen. Perfect. Now we'll cut all these screenshots and paste them into the folder where we have the project file using Ctrl+V. Here in After Effects, we'll go to File and import all the screenshots. I'll also leave the sound effect and texture for you to download, so you can follow along with the tutorial. I'll save this in one folder and the other two in another. Now I'll go to Composition and create a new one. It'll be 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames per second, and 10 seconds will be enough. If anyone knows what this effect is called and wants to leave it in the comments, that would be great. Honestly, I'm not really sure what it's called, so I'm going to call it Flicker News, for example. The animation is super simple. All we have to do is, for every screenshot that has the name we chose, we'll place peg it in the center of the composition, using the same scale and position for all of them. To do this, we're going to create a reference layer. We'll add a shape layer and name it Reference. Then we'll add a rectangle and a fill. In the rectangle path, we'll unlink the chain icon so we can adjust the values separately. We'll set this value to 7/10 and this one to 1/40. Now press T to reveal opacity and lower it a bit, just about there. Then we'll lock this layer. Now we can start placing the screenshots. Let's start with this one, for example. We'll place it below the reference layer. And now let's find where Rafa's name is. Look, if we scale this layer from here, it's going to be a little difficult to fit the name there in the reference layer. So what we can do is, with the pan behind tool or with the Greek Y key, we select this tool and the anchor point, we're going to put it between the first and last name. Around there, and now it's going to be scaled from that point. Okay, so we're going to leave it at more or less 100. And what I want is for the part here of the ear to stay well glued to our reference layer. And the part of the L to stay the same, although later the series of the letter go out from here below, it's okay. But this part of the letter should stay well glued there. Okay, let's go with the next one. We put it on top here, we look for the name. Greek YK, and we put the anchor point here between the name and the surname. And now with Ctrl+P Home, we center it there in view, and that way it will be easier for us to position it. We increase the scale a little. Over there, we position the layer right there, and if we turn it off and turn on the E, we can see that the animation is taking shape. Okay, let's go with the next one. We put the capture there and look for Rafa's name, Greek YK, and we put the anchor point here between the name and the surname. Now with Ctrl+P Home, it will be placed there right in the center. SK, We scale it a little more. It's perfect there. We turn it off and turn on the eye. Okay, great. So we're going to do this with all the captures. Alright, great, so we're going to do this with all the captures. Good. Once we have all the captures positioned, we're going to move here to the start of the timeline. We can now deactivate our reference layer and we're going to count 3 frames forward. 1, 2 and 3. Select them all, we go to Edit, Split Layer, and delete all this. Again we select them all. We go to Animation, Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layer. Leave this unchecked. Click OK and we almost have the animation ready. Now we move here to the last frame. Go one back and using the N key, we cut the workspace. Trim Come to Work area. Let's preview it and see how it looks. Alright, this looks great. There are some layers here that are missing information. For example, for this one, we'll apply the CC Reptile effect and expand the pixels to the right, leaving it set to repeat. Or well, you can try out some presets and see which one you like. I'll leave it set to repeat. For this one as well, it's missing some information on the side, so we'll apply the same effect and expand it to the left. And again, you can try different settings to see what you like. I'll set this one to checker 80 degrees. Same for this one, we apply the effect and expand the pixels to the right. I'll leave it as it is by default. For this last one, well, this one looks fine, and I think that there are no more. Let's see. Alright, this looks great. Now we go to the project panel, and from the Flickr News composition, we'll create a new one. And we'll call it Flickr News Loop. We'll go into the settings, select it, composition, settings, and we'll set it back to 10 seconds. Click OK, and to prevent this animation from ending when it reaches here, there are several ways to do this. I'll show you 2 methods. Select the composition, right-click, time, enable time remapping. Extend the composition to cover the whole workspace, and here, on this keyframe, where nothing is visible, we move 1 frame back, and without moving the playhead, we add a new keyframe. We delete this one, and keep the new one where the old one was. Now we have the animation, but it stops at this keyframe, so holding down the Alt key, click on the stopwatch, and type in LoopOut. Now this animation will last as long as the composition. But I'll do it another way, a bit more rudimentary. because I feel there's a slight jump in the image somewhere. And I don't really like painting with time remapping. So I'll remove this effect, and with Ctrl+D, I'll duplicate the composition, place it exactly where the other one points. Select both, Ctrl+D again, and Ctrl+D once more. Since it's only 10 seconds long, if it were 2 hours, maybe I'd use time remapping, but since it's just 10 seconds, we'll do this really quickly. We duplicate again, place them here, move to the end of this one, step 1 frame back, press N, and we'll cut the workspace here. Right click, trim comp to work area. Now we have a perfect loop and nothing looks out of place. Alright, now from this Flickr News loop composition, we'll create another new one. We'll call it Flickr News Effects. First, we'll make it 3D. If the cube icon isn't showing, press F4 and activate it. We'll also bring in this texture. Place it here, make it 3D as well. And with the S key, scale it up a bit. Next, we'll add a couple of effects, one called Invert. Channel Invert. We apply it here. We'll also add some curves. Alright, we leave the invert effect as it is by default. For the curves, first, we'll set this layer to a screen mode. Now for the curves, we're going to darken the dark colors a lot. To add a bit of texture to the images. Check it out. Alright, perfect. Another thing we're going to do, using the pen tool, is create an underline for Rafa's name. We place one point here, another there, and apply a stroke of 25 pixels in width. This will be called a stroke. We'll also add a trim path at the start of the timeline, set the end property to 0, and mark a keyframe. We now move to the 5-second mark, around there, and set it to 100. We ease this last keyframe with F9 and set this layer to multiply mode. Alright, we also need to make it 3D. To add a bit of a grunge effect to this stroke, we'll add another effect called Roughen Edges. We apply it here, set the border to 50. The stretch width to 50 as well. Set the complexity to 10. Check it out, it looks much better now. And we'll set the evolution to 90 degrees. Alright, perfect. Look how good it looks. Let's keep going. Right click, add a solid layer. And call this one Vignette. Make it fit the same size as the composition and set it to black. Click OK. Now, with this layer selected, select the ellipse tool, double click it. Double click on any of its nodes, select the whole mask, and to scale it proportionally, hold down the Ctrl and Shift keys. We'll leave it around here and set it to subtract mode. Increase the feathering a lot. Something like this. And well, at this point, everyone can try different effects to see which ones they like. I'm going to add a few more. Right click, add another solid layer, and call it grain. Make it the size of the composition. And for the color, I'll set it to 50%, so it's somewhere between white and black. We'll add the effect called Add Grain. Here, change the final output setting. You can choose any of these presets. I'll use my usual one, monochrome color, and set the animation to 0. We'll now set this layer to overlay mode. And check out that nice grain effect. Alright, another effect. Right click, add an adjustment layer. And apply Venetian blinds. Now we'll adjust some settings. Let's set the percentage to 3. Set the direction to 90 degrees. We'll reduce the width a little. Let's leave it at 4. Check out those lines. They look really cool. Right click again, new adjustment layer, and we'll go to Effects, Immersive Video, VR Chromatic Aberration. Here, change from monoscopic to stereoscopic. And we'll tweak a few settings. Set the fall off distance to 0. This is to create that RGB effect, which looks pretty cool. We'll set the red aberration to 6. As I often mention, I use these values because after testing, they're the ones that work best for me. We'll set the blue aberration to 0. So you get these nice red and blue colors. Perfect. That's all for effects. I won't add any more. Now I'll create a very simple animation. Right click, new, camera, set it to 35mm. And single node, click OK. Right click again, new, null object, and parent the camera to the null object. Press S, set a keyframe for scale and go to the end. But first, we need to make the null object 3D. Press F4 and enable the cube. Now we're good. We set a keyframe at the start. And by the end, let's set a value of 70, for example. Let's preview everything and see how it looks. Well, this looks amazing. It's also an animation that, if you like the documentary editing style, it fits perfectly into any video. If you have any doubts or got stuck at any step, leave a comment and we'll solve it. And if you enjoyed the tutorial, give it a thumbs up so I know. See you in the next video.